Yeah, we got him. Yeah, he's like,
yeah. Okay,
He's like-
Leland.
Yeah, you go, Leland.
Yeah.
welcome to the Roger the Wild Child show. And oh my gosh, I didn't even get
it. Fucked it.
What?
There we go.
No!
Yes! Woo!
I can't. There we go. Yeah, took the
It
top
feels
off.
like-
Won't be the first time.
Hello. I know I was very relaxed when we were pre-show, but when it goes live, I get very nervous and
Hey, don't be putting that away. Why are you putting that away?
Mine's, you know, it usually goes underneath the mattress. Because between the mattresses, right next to the socks.
Yeah.
She is an actress. She also is a writer. She's a producer. She is a podcast host. And I swiped right on Tinder on her profile.
So I do, motivational speaking. I have an agent and I have this whole thing. I'm kind of like Tom Brady. I'm an experienced.
I want to hear this.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I mean,
Come on, Kenny, tell us.
Yeah.
How are you like Tom Brady?
Well, I deflate my balls.
Roger the Wild Child Show is brought to you by our friends at Prism Design Company. Are you looking for a cool new logo for your business? Do you need some new graphics for your website or blog? Our friends at the Prism Design Company are a premier graphic design company that can handle all your needs. You can find Prism Design Company on Facebook or contact them directly at 618-534-4291. All the great graphics on the Roger the Wild Child Show are brought to you by our friends at the Prism Design Company.
And now, the hottest new celebrity interview show in the universe. It's the Roger the Wild Child Show.
Let's get this party started! Ready, set, go!
On the air everywhere.
It's the Roger the Wild Child Show!
It's time for another exciting edition of the Roger the Wild Child Show with your host, Roger the Wild Child, joined by radio disc jockey Jimmy Knight, also musician and son of Elvis's bassist Jerry Sheff, Darren Sheff, and former Playboy Playmate cover girl and centerfold Deborah Driggs. Let's do this.
It's the Roger the Wild Child Show!
Oh, yeah. It's that time for another exciting edition with a brand new show open and a cast of thousands. How you guys doing? I am Roger the Wild Child. Great to have you guys along with me. We have a very female empowering show tonight.
Yeah.
You definitely don't want to miss that. For sure.
I'm so excited because this has been so male dominated these last few weeks. So I'm so excited. We've got two rock stars today. Feminine energy is in the house. I have my pink. I'm tickled pink.
You're tickled pink. Jimmy Knight is with us, everyone. Hello, Jimmy. How you doing?
I'm living the dream.
Living the dream.
Living the dream.
Deborah Driggs and Darren Sheff is with us.
Darren!
Ooh, hey guys. Hey, it's your world. I'm just living in it, man. Let's go. What are we up to?
Well, we have producer Bo that's running the show today, and he'll be running the chat room. So, hello to Bo.
Hello, Bo. Hello, Bo. I'll say it in my very Hollywood voice. Hello, Bo.
Lovely.
I like saying Bo. It's lovely, isn't it?
Lovely. Lovely. Hello, Bo.
We got two amazing guests today. First one, she is a brand new artist. She just came out with her brand new video and single. It's called Do You, and the link is in the description here so you can watch the music video. Her name is April Rose Gabrielli. Also on the show today, we have a multimedia mogul, and she is fanatic. I mean, fantastic.
Yeah, she's a rock star. She's a friend of mine also, and she and I just a little trivia. She and I actually spent a leadership weekend on the island of Necker Island that Richard Branson owns with Richard Branson, and that's how she and I met.
Wow.
And I knew when I met her, she had very interesting woman, and she'll knock your socks off, because I love when women are just like, you know what, I'm the badass and I'm going to start a business and I'm going to be an entrepreneur. As you know, I love that energy, and she has it all.
Nice.
That's awesome. So we will bring her on the show coming up here in just a little bit. So
this is definitely a show you want to be a part of, because by the way, I posted April's song because I listened to it. I love her song.
Oh my God, it's amazing.
It's so good.
And she's going to be she's going to be like the artist on the rise. I mean, literally, I'm telling you, within 6 months, I mean, she's going to be all over radio airplay.
Yep.
I agree.
I agree. Yes. Huge talent, just super. I mean, I listened to the song. I was like, yeah, I reposted it like 3 times on Instagram because I was like, this is hot. I can't believe it. And so I'm excited.
Jimmy, your take on April coming up.
Yeah, I think the song is fantastic. I love all the different changes in tones in the song. It just was, well, first of all, when you hear a new song from a new artist, you're never sure what you're going to expect. So, I mean, a lot of times I get songs sent to me and I hit play, and like we've said before, you hit play and you go, okay. Fantastic song. I mean, it's just, it definitely is different than what's being played on the radio 24/7 right now, which is great. It's definitely a breath of fresh air. I just love the song, and I love the way the flow goes, and I love how it takes you in one direction, then all of a sudden the music hits you back, and you're just like in the middle of this. It's a really great song, and you're right. She's going to be on the rise. It's fantastic.
And I was so excited to hear that our past guest is her album, Soho Johnny.
Soho Johnny, yes.
I thought he was going to be a surprise guest today.
You never know what can happen on this show, Deborah. Darren.
Yes.
How you doing?
Good.
You are on the world's largest yard sale right now, and so you are in Cincinnati, Ohio, in a hotel room.
Yep, absolutely. Yep, and all over the place on this crazy thing. But it's I'm into real estate too, so I mean, along this yard sale, it's not the longest antique sale. I wish it was. It's the longest yard sale, so it's quite interesting to go on this thing from Alabama all the way up to here, and it's more fun just kind of, there's people watching, it's just something else to see the characters along the way. They probably think the same thing about me, like, God, look at that weird dude. But, it's fun. But anyway, as far as, our guest, the singer, it's like, Jimmy, you hit it on the head, man. I mean, there's so many incredible textures to the music, but what blew my mind is the textures to her voice going into the textures of the music. She's got that ability to, have this, this really nice, sweet, soft, beautiful tone, and then get into something a little raspier and harder. And, that follows along with what you were absolutely saying about just the moods of the music. But her vocal actually does the exact same thing, which is what caught me right off the get-go. When I first heard it, I went, my gosh, listen to the textures of her voice, not just the music, but her voice. Actually just going from one thing to the next. A lot of people are kind of, just straight across the board and beautiful. Nothing wrong with that. But boy, she really had a lot of different textures.
Yeah, definitely. And so I do want to say, before we bring April on, I want to say hello to everybody in the chat room. Teresa Sabin, Cliff Hill, Don Swartz. Welcome, everyone.
Don's back in the house.
Don is back.
Don is back. Coming to the party. Don, thank you for coming to the party.
Don.
He gets a shout out. He comes every week. We love him.
Yes, of course. Thank you, Don. So,
are we going to do a giveaway?
Cliff too.
Maybe here in the next couple of weeks we'll do another watch and win.
Do it.
All right, so let's go ahead and bring on our first guest. I'm sorry, she's just one badass entertainer. Mm-hmm. And I don't really think she needs an introduction because she herself is an introduction.
Yeah, no doubt.
And please welcome onto the show, Miss April Rose Gabrielli. April, how are you doing?
Hey,
welcome, April. Yay!
Thank you. Thanks for all the kind words. Thanks for actually listening to my music too, because I really appreciate it. Like,
I've been having it on replay for like the longest time all week, and I'm like watching the video, like, oh my gosh, I cannot wait to have her on my show tonight.
Oh, thank you so much. I really appreciate that.
So you've been around music for how long now? I mean, since you were like young, huh?
Little, yeah. I believe probably since I was like 4 or 5 years old. My mom is a singer and a piano player as well. Never pursued it professionally, but she taught me how to play and sing. So I have pictures of me at 3 or 4 years old sitting at a piano, like trying to figure it out. I haven't gotten any better, but I mean.
Oh my gosh, are you kidding me?
Since I was 3. No, I'm joking. But no, yeah, so as long as I can remember, really, it was just in my mind that I wanted to be a musician. I didn't really care if it made a lot of money for me or whatever came. I just always wanted to be doing that and be on stage and be working and producing. And so, yeah, that's just kind of what I've been doing. Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, I love your song. I reposted it a few times on Instagram because I went to go and listen and I was like, wow, this is a cool song. Like, I want to download it and have it in my playlist. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Every little bit helps in the
fun.
beginning. Thank you so much.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, it's really different in the music industry nowadays to try to break and to try to get a song played or recognized. I mean, you have so many more avenues to go about that. So have you found that the social angle is the best way for you to get your music out there these days?
I definitely think it helps. I think it helps sort of maintain relationships with people that you've met on the road. So if because I've toured a bunch with different bands as a keyboard player or as a solo artist, just sort of for fun almost when I was in another band. So it sort of helped me maintain relationships with people that I met across the US a couple of times. So now that my solo stuff is coming out, they can actually say, oh, that was that keyboard player that I met. That's pretty cool. So for that, it's been helpful because that was a couple of years ago. So I don't believe I'd have a connection to them still. I personally am a little weirded out by social media. So I try to just use it as a business tool as much as I can. And I think it really works. I don't know if I'm the best at it. Because again, I'm like I said, I don't know. I think I was born in the wrong era, but
social media is like a work in progress. Yeah. It changes all the time. Instagram is not even the same as it was when everything is evolved. It's hard to keep up with social media. I'm finding that it's like a full-time job.
It absolutely is. And that's why, I mean, the good thing is it totally created a new market for people who want to work in it, which is fantastic. And I find that's a full-time job too. So I have a lot of help from a really great team generally, but when I was kind of doing it on my own, I liked to choose to work on my music and work on my craft first. And then, once it was done, play shows, get out there, meet people, FaceTime, all that. And then, reconnect with them on social media. So I try to use it in that way.
We have had a lot of rock legends on this show. Literally in the last month. And
that's pretty
one
cool.
of the best advice I think that one of them gave, and I can't remember specifically who it was because they've all given such amazing advice, was as a new musician to really tell a story now. We're in a time where if you have a story to tell, that really helps. Do you find that to be true?
Absolutely. Yeah, I believe so. My story is that I love what I do, and I'm just trying to get my music out there. I'm very emotional and very empathic. So that's the story I share. There's also a lot to me that people don't necessarily know that I plan on sharing as time goes on. But yeah, I try to be careful about what I share too, because I think it's kind of like a pissing match to see who's the most upset nowadays or the most hurt and struggling. And I find myself to be really honestly very blessed to have good health most days. So yeah, I do believe that there's a story element to it, but I feel that the story should generally be told in your work. So I try to keep it there as best as possible.
Now we had Soho Johnny on a few weeks ago, and you are on his label. So tell me about the relationship between you and Soho.
Soho's the best. He's incredibly sweet. He's been supportive of me since day one, which has been incredible because I've gotten a lot of no's along my journey as a musician.
No, really?
What?
Are you kidding me?
In that business, you've gotten a lot of no's?
Literally.
That's a surprise.
Shocker. Oh my gosh.
Only no's. hands to the face after gigs like you wouldn't believe. It's been really fun. Anyway,
I would believe.
Yeah, it's yeah. So I met him through my amazing manager, John Velasco. He's a music industry veteran in music publishing. He's worked with ABBA, Jimmy Webb, a bunch of great musicians. So I kind of met him through. I met Soho through my manager, John. I have a million Johns in my life. I literally have to like give them different nicknames because I have like 105 Johns in my life. But yeah, so it's been really great, and it's been nothing but supportive, which again, like I had, I'm pretty suspicious generally of people that are like, oh wow, you're doing great. Like I want to help you, when it comes to the arts and music. So, but yeah, they've been great. He shows up at all of my shows that he can and all the events that I've been doing. So that's been great. And I just feel like there's a real nice community there with the label, with my management. The whole team is just sort of intertwined in it. And it's just a lot of fun. It's great to have them
You
around.
were just in Times Square performing on stage over there.
Yeah.
And I watched that video too in the live feed, and I was like, man, she's a phenomenal.
Thank you. I love to sing. I just love it. So anywhere I can do it, even if it's 9 o'clock in the morning on a Thursday in Times Square, it's still good.
That's usually when my voice sounds the best, is 9 o'clock.
Oh yeah, me too. Me too. I sounded great. And I had all the beautiful, nice fumes from New York City, like hot dog and
Don't you love that? I love that about New York.
Leftover like street crust rising from the July heat.
As a performer, you could be up there singing your heart out in something that you crafted. It smells sewer smell.
Oh, it's really special. I lived.
I love it. I love New York. It's like I can't believe that we've been in a pandemic and I got there and there was construction everywhere. And I'm thinking, what were they doing during the pandemic? And then I realized, oh yeah, they were locked down too, probably in the union.
There's never not construction happening.
I know.
It's just constantly happening.
Always.
That's kind of just part of it. It's honestly helpful when it's raining because you have that scaffolding to walk under if you forget your umbrella. It's like, there's pros and cons. I lived in New York City for about 10 years. So I had my share of fun.
I lived there for 2 years.
That's enough. Yeah.
That's enough. It was enough.
More
By
than
the way,
enough.
everybody should live in New York for at least 1 year.
I visited there for 8 hours one day.
That's also enough.
That's all you could take.
Well, no, we were staying in Connecticut, but we went up to New York for the day. It was great. I loved it for the day. I was in, and then I was like, okay, I'm from Chicago, so I mean, New York is New York is bigger
very
and
similar.
Yeah,
One thing I noticed
similar.
about New York City is there's no regular cars going through. It's nothing but cabs because nobody drives their regular cars in New York City.
Yes and no. Yeah. There's Ubers and things, and you got
those. But
I've driven a tour van in there before. Not me personally, because that's unsafe. But I mean,
that is like the one city I would never want to drive through. So Roger's got a point there. Like Chicago sucks to drive through, and I've driven through the city of Chicago hundreds of times. But New York, that would, because I think the magnitude of one-way streets in New York is much larger than in Chicago, and that would freak me out. Like I would get really pissed off. So.
And you better believe there's always people parked on both sides of that one-way street. So it's like, but it's all right.
So
got a lot of good stuff too.
You got a new video out for the song "Do You," and so tell us about how that production went. It's kind of a unique little touch to the song, and so with the hand movements and stuff like that. So what made you decide to do that part of the video?
So it's kind of just movement integrated with American Sign Language, because I wrote the song about someone who's hard of hearing, who I love. So the kind of message was like, or the way that we sort of came to be is it was a lot of eye contact. It was a lot of kind of like, the lyric in the song is, do you see mine? Like, are you catching this? Like, do you feel what I feel kind of thing? Because there was a lot of nonverbal communication going on that I was really like unsure of. And I always second guess myself. It's like in my nature, not so much anymore. I'm trying to break the habit, but so that the whole idea of it sort of being more physical and less, like the typical I'm acting and talking in a music video. Like I just wanted to kind of make it more metaphysical, nonverbal. And
can we play it or no?
Well, she's going to sing for us live, right? You're
Woo!
gonna sing for part
Let's
of
do
it?
it.
I'll sing a little bit. You want me
All
right
right,
now?
let's do it. Let's go
do
ahead.
it.
I'll just sing like the verse into the pre. Let me see if you're. I didn't wear the right shirt for this, but whatever. Oh.
While she's setting up, it reminds me of that movie, The Sound of Metal, that came out last year.
Oh yeah,
about the drummer who went deaf. It was such a brilliant movie about.
that's a real. I mean, like a lot of people. It's interesting. A lot of people have invisible illnesses or invisible disabilities, and like you would never know, or you can't really tell because if it's not fully if they're not fully dysfunctional, or I don't know the proper way to say that, if they're not functioning really to a point where in a way that's unfamiliar to you, you wouldn't really know. But a lot of people with invisible illnesses learn to like live with that, and then you'd never know. So it's really interesting. But all right, this is a little out of tune. My piano tuner's coming on the 12th, so a couple of days late, but that's okay. Okay, so this is a little bit of the song called Do You. Do you know the way I love you? Don't know. I don't expect you to, 'cause all I say is just do you, babe. Do you know that I am asking while I'm telling? I am crying when I'm yelling. And I don't know how else to ask if you will ever let yourself free. I don't believe you will, but do you think the same of me? Oh, I'm so done with over dramatics. Just wanna be simple, but then I won't have you the way that I want you all of the time. Oh baby, be mine. Oh baby, be mine. You gotta know there's a look in your eye. Oh, do you see mine? I'll stop it there. So
Wow, that was awesome.
Fantastic.
Incredible.
I'm going to go around the horn.
Sorry.
That was amazing.
So I'm going to go around the horn with everybody here, and I'm going to have everybody each give their feedback on this song and that performance. Jimmy, I'm going to start with you. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's just amazing how you can sing to that ability just right on cue, like with Apple earbuds in and just your dog behind you. What kind of dog is that?
Oh, is she there?
Yeah,
It's
she was
little
running
Ellie.
around in
She's my
circles.
rescue girl. She's
Yeah,
she's
she's
my
so
little
sweet.
rescue girl.
She heard you singing and she started running around like crazy. I'm like, yep, she knows. She's bringing
She's
it.
my girl. Yeah, she's my girl.
Aw,
She is.
aw. What a beautiful
She's my
puppy.
she's a rescue. She's my 8-month-old Chihuahua pit mix, boxer
Wow.
mix. She's like a bunch of stuff, but
Yeah,
we got her.
beautiful.
She's the best.
Yeah,
That's
when
what
you
I
started
am.
Singing, she was running
Me
around in a
too.
circle.
That's how I felt this morning.
Yeah, tell me about it. Yeah, I
The
feel
pit
like
I got
came
her
out.
teeth. She has this beautiful little underbite here, and I got her teeth tattooed on me because I'm all for the
nice.
underdog.
That
Yeah, I'm
is
obsessed.
so
with it.
Yay.
Yeah,
So
All right, I
Deborah.
gotta work. Sorry.
Your turn, Deborah.
Hold on a second.
yes,
I wasn't done.
Oh, sorry, Jim. Go ahead.
Hang on.
Sorry,
This
the
is
dog-
the,
the dog
we're
reset
like on
over there.
American Idol now. We've
Yeah,
just taken
yeah.
over American Idol. Okay,
gotta-
go ahead.
Do
Go-
I gotta
go
turn
back,
the
Jim.
chair? No, I just wanted to say it's a beautiful song, and anytime I hear you sing it, whether now it's live or whether it's on the video or on the audio, you just sound amazing. You have such a great voice. So
Thank
well
you
done.
so much. I appreciate it. Thank
Okay,
you.
Deborah,
Paula?
go ahead.
Paula.
Paula, go ahead, Paula.
Yes.
Let's hear it, Paula.
No, absolutely breathtaking, just beautiful. Just to blow that out right here live, in your house, like play the piano and just like, hey, this is me singing with your beautiful voice. It's just that I love that. I love that we could hear the range of your voice, which is phenomenal. It's just
Thank you.
amazing. So you have such an amazing career ahead of you, girl.
Thank you. I really appreciate
I'm
that.
gonna
I hope
have
so
to-
it's already been
I'm
really
gonna say
fun.
she was on our show. When
I hope
Okay,
so,
Simon,
yeah.
go ahead.
Simon, you're next.
Simon, your turn.
I
He
hated
was always
it.
my favorite.
I hated it. I hated everything about it. I hated it.
Darren.
No, you didn't.
No, I was mocking Simon Cowell.
No, I know.
I know, right?
Oh, so, yeah. Next. No, I'm just kidding. Hey, looks like you haven't really rehearsed much. Go back and we'll start you over, darling. No, I'm just kidding. That was my awful Simon impression. But anyway,
It was pretty good.
yeah. Anyway, being a musician myself and being around people and recording people, and what's incredible is your dynamics. Honestly, meaning exactly what I'm talking about. Your dynamics through your lines, your verses, your pre-chorus, your chorus. So it's not just the structure of it and the tones you get out of your voice, but it's the soul, the emotion. And I can feel that within your dynamics. You know how to work that mic, you know how to get into it, you know how to get out of it.
Thank
the
you.
more technical stuff, but I pick up on that because that's my world,
Yeah, sure.
And you can't fake that. You know what I mean? Either you can do that or you can't do it, and you can do it. And so that's what's incredible. And I'm absolutely impressed, with all of it, the piano playing and everything. I just want to ask you though, since the piano's out of tune, do you sing out of tune a little bit to compensate for that? No, I'm just kidding. I'm just
I
kidding.
mean, I don't know. I probably.
I knew you didn't. I'm just joking. Anyway.
I do have a funny story though. I do have a funny story. Growing up, my childhood piano was it's similar. It was a Wurlitzer upright piano, and it wasn't tuned for most of my teenage years, which is when I wrote most of my music. So I have really good relative pitch, but only if it like middle C to me is always C sharp. It was like always a half step too high or something. Something was like, or it was too low. So it's like my relative pitch is always off by like a half step. I'm like, whatever. But yeah, so that's like kind of, But.
Well, that's the way all great music was created, by emotion. Listen to all the classic hits from the 70s. There's so much stuff that's wavering and a little bit out here and there. Nobody even cared back then. It was all about the emotion, the feeling. And, you're not in that category because you have great pitch, but listen to Rolling Stones, all these guys. Listen to some of the songs, and they're the biggest hits on the radio, and there's wavering going on left and right, or you'll hear a shaker way behind. You're going, my gosh, who's playing that? But so anyway, but yeah, it was awesome.
I like that era of music a lot.
Yeah,
I like the way it was made. I like from what I understand, at least, I like the way it sounds.
Yeah, it's definitely the time of music that I gravitate towards the most myself. Usually mid 70s. Late 70s, early 80s is my, because you're right, it was a different type of, it wasn't all glamified and just trying to get a hit. It was people doing songs because they wanted to do songs, and that's what I love. I love when people are passionate about the music, and you can hear it in your voice, the way you sing it. You've probably sung the song 100 million times, and every time you're singing it, it's like you're singing it for the first time, so it's just fantastic.
Thank you. That means a lot.
I got 4 words for you. You're going to Hollywood, okay?
Yeah.
Sure.
And then some. So yes, definitely. If you guys have a question or a comment or whatever, you can give us a call. Our phone lines are open, 845-400-WILD. That's 845-400-9453. Or if you just don't have the courage to get your voice on the air and you just want to have a question, shoot us a comment or shoot us a question, and we'll go ahead and get those questions on for April. So April, now you got a song called Do You. Where do you go from here? What's the next journey?
A lot of stuff going on I'm really excited about. So we're really pushing Do You in all areas, all aspects, the video and the song. So any streams or listens to the song would be super appreciated, because the more real reaction we get to this is the most important. I want to connect with as many people as I can through that. And then after, I have a bunch of songs recorded and produced that are ready to be put out and pushed as well. We're seeing how this one does. But I have a bunch of new singles. I have an EP that's ready, and I'm almost done with an album.
When's the EP coming out?
We don't know yet, but I have it. So whenever it's time, soon enough. But we're hoping to put out maybe another single, as well as some like new merch. Hopefully, I'm trying to get that designed, working on that. And I have a bunch of songs, so I'm just really looking forward to getting them out, getting the sound out there, and seeing it's just seeing how they do, because I've been living with them for a while now. So,
well, April, in my experience, it's really important to put a date into the universe. So let's put it out there right now. When will the EP be released?
Probably early next year.
There you go.
Maybe around my birthday.
Perfect.
Yeah, it's probably better in the spring. That's probably better. It's just, I think. but we'll see.
Yep.
Yeah, maybe
Okay.
March. So
That's when
it all
it'll
depends on
happen.
what happens. Yeah, it all depends on what happens next, and whatever me and my manager decide on. He's the brains behind the whole thing. He's incredible. So.
And that's John
Yeah.
Velasco, which we will have him on the show here in the next few weeks. So,
Oh,
he is
really?
scheduled, he's scheduled to be on the show in September. So,
Oh, he's amazing. Enjoy his company because he's like the best. He's
Nice.
really been so helpful to me.
yeah,
in so
well,
many ways.
definitely excited to see your journey take it to the next level and you're rising. And like I said, I predict in 6 months we're going to definitely be seeing you on the music charts. But your genre of music has kind of changed over the years, has it not?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, you were more of an indie, rockish, popish type thing, and then you're evolving to something totally new. So why are you changing image?
So I don't feel like it's really like a purposeful change. I actually started in musical theater.
Okay.
So this is, I've been kind of gravitating towards different styles and working with different styles pretty much forever. But I started writing music before I like really connected to a genre where I was purposely, I'm going to write a rock song. I'm going to write a pop song. I just always had a loud voice. So I think that's kind of why rock suited me for a couple years, which I didn't really have those dynamics, and sort of working with pop writers and pop producers kind of helped me develop more of a dynamic control. And I have so much more respect for pop singers than I ever did in the past, because you need to have that range of your dynamic and that control, especially on stage, you're dancing, there's all these different things. But as far as my style evolving, I think I've evolved. I think I'm just kind of being true to myself, and whatever the sound is, the sound is. I still think there's like little pieces of me from the last, I guess, 12-ish years of me writing music. In each thing, I still find it to be a little theatrical. I still find it to be have its pop elements, and it's definitely got its rock elements too. I really have to like stop myself from putting a really heavy guitar and everything, even if it is a pop song. So,
Come
like
on,
that.
you
Yeah,
want to. Come on.
I do, because you know what? It needs to have that grit, because the songs are gritty. Like, they might sound happy, and the melodies might be, memorable and fresh, but it's like there's deeper meaning to all of it. And I think the guitar sort of pushes out that deeper meaning, or that deeper like tension that's in the songs like that I wrote them. Because I write a lot of my songs as poems.
We just had a comment from Cliff Hill that said she's a breath of fresh air, and I couldn't agree more.
Oh, thank you very much.
Yeah,
Yes, he is.
Beautiful, positive comments.
Yeah,
thank you.
He's a rocker too, that guy.
Yeah,
I'm just blown away by how composed.
Awesome.
Just another young artist that we're talking to that's so composed, so just respectful of music, and just the journey, and not here on our show saying, I got to pay my dues, and they keep telling me I got to do this, and you want to perform, and you're just so respectful of everything. It's just so amazing to hear that, because as I get older, I think every generation does it. Is the generation they don't know what real things are, and blah,
Right.
But you're just so down to earth and just so welcoming. Also, I did want to take a second to say thank you. When you were talking about, you don't know what people are walking around with. You just don't know what somebody might be dealing with or struggling with, or if they do have some sort of disease that you can't see. You just hit the nail on the head with that, and you were just, I, for one, have something like that, so I just wanted to say your words. Your words were just so. When you said it, I was just like, "Thank you," because people just
that's beautiful.
People don't see that. That even though you're out doing things that you have to do on a normal basis, you performing, that you have something that just maybe you don't feel so great, or you don't feel so hot,
or
today,
your medication just got switched and you are going through something bad, or you're seeing double. It's just you never know it.
And you still do the thing. You still do the thing that you love to do. You just might not be as happy as you are about it on certain days. And the way you said that earlier was just so fantastic. And I, for one who goes through something like that on a daily basis, who wakes up every day and not know what kind of day it's going to be for myself, I, from the bottom of my heart, appreciate that. So thank you so much.
No problem. No, I appreciate it too. Because I've met a lot of people. I was diagnosed with epilepsy in November. So that's what I'm talking about. So
Yeah.
and that was crazy because before that I was so blessed to have really perfect health for the most part in every sort of way. But it's been such a journey to experience all of the different aspects of what you go through when people, even people closest to me don't know if I'm having a good or a bad day unless I'm like, hey, not feeling so hot today, and you go through medication changes, diet changes. I mean, and this is not an uncommon illness either. So it really opened my eyes to 1 in 26 people are diagnosed. So that's a low number. I mean, a high number of people, it's a small grouping of people. So you never know who's walking around with what. I've met performers that, they have MS, they have these CF, whatever it may be. There's all these sort of invisible illnesses that, they have their flare-ups and whatever. But yeah, I got on a stage for the first time since the diagnosis in July. So it was last month, and it was really crazy. It was a really I never was so grateful to just be like standing up and singing and seeing people I love, especially with the pandemic. I mean, it all happened in the same year. So
what a great attitude to have too.
Yeah.
You have to. Fantastic. Your life is your mental state. You know what I mean? Your life is really your mental state, your perspective. And, that's why I'm just happy I can make music. And I'm happy that it happened when it did, because I feel that it gave me a lot of gratitude for, what was about to come as far as, being promoted or seeing how the song does, or if someone doesn't like it, it's like, that's cool. I can put it out. So that's what's good.
The thing about artists these days, artists in general, they're people too. I mean, yes, we see them on stage and they have an image and everything like that. But at the end of the day, they go through the same struggles as any of us out there in the real world. And they have their own, dilemmas to go through. And so to hear that people talk about the stories and they sing about it or act about it or whatever, or tell their story is very powerful and uplifting because yes, they have a voice and they're reaching out to people who's probably can relate to other people out there. And with you taking your music and being really appreciative and just knowing, you look at where you came from, the struggles that you're dealing with right now, and know that you're touching people out there that that can relate to what you're going through, and just really enjoy throwing that music in like that. I think it's amazing, and I definitely am really excited to see the road that you're going down and seeing the stair steps that you're going to be going up, and
I can't wait. I can't wait for the EP. I want to hear more. I want to hear more. So
next
I
the beginning of next year.
Yes.
Yeah. Apparently, that's when. But it's I don't know. Whatever. I'm going to say it anyway. I believe it's on August 29th. I'll be doing a stream in collaboration with a service called Gramophone, and it's an audio, almost like a podcast, but it's live. It's kind of like what we're doing, but it's just audio. And I will be streaming a bunch of my new songs and kind of letting the fans and the listeners pick what they want to hear next. So I'm kind of, because I want them all out. So I want to have some of the listeners, the people who've been really following me, or maybe not, just say, hey, you know what? I think that should be on the EP because I want that one next.
Yeah, well, you know, a link to that and share that with everybody.
Yeah, so I'll definitely keep you guys posted about that. Yeah,
Please do.
Yeah, they're all done and produced, so I'd love to share them.
All right. April Rose Gabrielli, thank you very much for taking some time and joining us on the show. Definitely, we all are going to be following your journey here, and don't forget about us when you're.
Yeah.
No, I really appreciate the support. I really do. Like every little just post or share or nice comment, it lifts my day up and makes me feel like a lot of what I do is worth it. So I really appreciate it, and I hope to do the same for you guys if I can share anything or help.
Please do.
Thank you. Thank you.
It takes a village. Yeah.
The backstory behind the song, though, being that honest openly with everybody here is like the gold. I mean, because people read into songs in different ways, but to actually hear you voice what's going on with you and Jimmy, and everybody, I mean, it just gets you, I mean, even more than the song, but it makes the song that much better. But having that dialogue and then everybody out there can hear it and go, oh yeah, we have more similarities and we do differences for sure, so
always
thank you for being that vulnerable and that honest today. I mean, because that's why I was sitting there just kind of with this dumb look on my face listening. I was just like, I mean, it just really like punched me in the chest, and it was incredible. Thank you.
Wow, thank you. No, I shared, honestly, it's uncomfortable for me a lot of the time, but when people have shared their stories, it's literally lifted my day and made me feel like, oh, okay, they can get through this. I've read books, of people who overcame things 12 times harder than I feel my struggles are. So it's like, the more you share, the more you can sort of,
and you don't know what tomorrow's going to bring.
Yeah.
Anybody.
Exactly. Yeah. Every good moment you have to kind of make good, keep it, you say, hey, this is a good moment right now. Let's keep it going,
Yeah.
But thank you. This has been a lot of great moments for me. So I appreciate it.
Yay.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
It was such a great time talking to you today.
You too. I hope to do it again soon.
Yep.
All right. Thank you, April.
Thank you.
Bye, April.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Have a great night. Bye.
Bye.
Can I just ask, how old is she?
I had
April.
her like 28.
Hang on a second.
No.
They don't like asking that. Just ask her how long she's been living. They don't like to
She's
ask
on
her
hold
when.
right there. You can just go.
No,
ask
but
her.
I mean, I'm just saying she's so young and so
She
her
just said it.
perspective
There you
is
go. What-
right on.
Go ahead. What was that, April?
I'm 28 years old.
Yeah.
Oh!
Whoa.
Well, you look
Yeah,
18.
you nailed it.
That's
Thank
from
you.
all
Let's
my
go with
years as a
that.
carny.
No, you got it. No, and I say that with pride because people at the age of 23 told me I was too old to be pursuing music. So I'm
are
gonna be
not.
like, I'm 28, I'm 29, I'm 30.
Good for you.
Kiss my bare ass.
Yeah,
Seriously.
Hey,
right.
thank
Yes.
you. I'm 57. I feel the same way.
Yeah.
Oh boy,
Thank you, April.
Thanks
Yeah.
again, April. I think I won
Jimmy.
something.
Jimmy, I'm not going to ask you to guess my weight then,
No,
because
I
good
don't
lord,
do the
man.
weights
You're the carny guy, man. Yeah.
I would put you at about 22, though.
Yeah, there we go.
I love that. I thought she was so much younger and she's so
Thank you.
inspirational.
She was
I know.
incredible, man.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Amazing guest. Amazing
Yeah.
guest.
Really wild. Yeah.
Now it
Well,
seems
we
like
have another phenomenal female guest tonight. I'm so excited.
yes, female empowerment.
Uh-oh.
Let's bring her on.
Yeah.
She's a multimedia mogul. She is the owner of Lux Enterprise, which oversees Lux Media, Lux Studios, Lux Cosmetics, and many more Lux brands. So let's bring her on. Please welcome Miss Candice Bar. Candice, how are you doing?
Hi.
Welcome to the Roger the Wild Child Show.
How are you? I'm great, thank you.
So
Awesome.
tell us a little bit about Lux Enterprise and what and all these little brands that you have that's making you the woman you are today, and the companies that you've built and the lives that you've changed.
Man, so it's been a labor of love, that's for sure. But so we have Lux Enterprise, and that consists of many different branches. So it's Lux Media Studios, which we just built out. We just built out a custom radio station on Rodeo Drive. And that's the first radio station on Rodeo Drive ever. And it's also the first radio station 100% owned by a female in the United States ever, which I was shocked by.
That's right.
Okay, everybody, just take that in right now. Just take that in.
We
I
also
love
have,
it.
We have Lux Life magazine, and that magazine is geared toward highlighting only female entrepreneurs. We only have female entrepreneurs as contributors, and we only have female entrepreneurs as advertisers and on the cover. Then we have Lux Life Cosmetics, and that is geared toward female entrepreneurs as well, and that's to be able to do your face in 2 minutes before you walk into the meeting. Then we have Lux Wear, which it's a custom jumpsuit line that comes out quarterly, and that is to be able to go on the plane, go right to the business meeting off the plane if you have to pass out in it. So it doesn't wrinkle, it's very easy to pack, and it's very comfortable, and it's also fashionable. What else do we got? And I have my show, Lux Life with Candice Bar. So we interview entrepreneurs, male and female, and we talk about the real journey and story of their life, the ups and downs, and all the bullshit you go through being an entrepreneur and building a business.
Yep. Candice, okay. Entrepreneur question.
Yeah.
What is it? Because I love when I get to talk to an entrepreneur. What is it inside of you that drives you? What is the thing that you just keep going and you keep building and there's no stopping you? What is it?
For me, it's creativity. Creativity is a huge thing for me. I look at business as it's very creative for me. It's kind of like an art, I would say. And most of the time I just want to see if we can do it. Like the challenge of, let's just see if this is going to shake out, because not every idea is a gold mine. But at least you can say that you tried it.
Yeah, absolutely. I love it. Yeah. It is so creative. It is a creative process. And how do you react when you get the no, or what is your reaction to, why are you doing that? That's not ever going to work? Because I know, especially, and I hate saying this, but really for women, it happens, there's a lot of kind of pullback on it. And so I know that's happened to you. And how do you handle that?
So I've been told no several times throughout my life, more than I care to remember. And I just, at this point in the game, I've been an entrepreneur for quite some time. At this point in the game, I'm thankful. I'm very thankful for the no's, because I know that yes, that means yes is right around the corner. And it's kind of, at this point, it's really just like, fuck you, I'm going to show you. And you're going to wish that you had said yes to me.
Yeah.
I love that attitude that you have there. I mean that's how you're going to get anywhere, because you just can't be passive. You got to be aggressive to be able to move forward to build your success. Now, I know you said you have that radio station on Rodeo. What kind of a radio station?
Don't ask her for a job.
Are you looking for DJs right now?
Just
it's
female
all women,
DJs.
Guys, sorry, it's all women.
Yeah,
Actually,
just women.
We have male employees, so we have really. I know. I like to say that.
Mail room.
What was that?
The mail room for him.
Hey, listen, I'm all for it, because men have fucked up radio good enough. So,
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
No, hey, look, I'm just saying, like, I am excited for hearing this radio station that you built. I'm super excited for it.
Like, of course, like I said, we have male and female employees. Actually, our receptionist is male. And so it's kind of just because it's on Rodeo Drive, it is luxury multimedia. So everything's done well. It's really beautiful to walk into. It's a beautiful experience. There's actual customer service. We have your snacks, your food, your drinks before you even come in. We have the Rolls Royce picking you up.
Nice.
If you have a guest coming in, we pick them up from LAX with the Rolls Royce and drop them off. We have, we stole a couple engineers from a really well-known other media company, and they're really great. So you have a great product in your podcast. Everyone does things on a timely manner. It's systematic, but it's also very welcoming. There's a lot of energy stones in there. We have a custom scent for the studio, for God's sakes. So people are encouraged to come in, and they can come hang out even if they're not doing a show, and just work if they want to be in a nice space. So it's really, I want to create a creative, lovely space to be in, that, you can do your podcast, radio, TV in Studio 1, and in Studio 2, we actually do music.
That's beautiful.
We got some pictures of the studio here.
Speaking of energy,
I want to talk about the studio 1 second. Talk about so that studio that you're seeing right now, when I got that space, there was no walls. There was no floor when I got that space.
Oh, man.
That is a custom studio.
That's beautiful. Yeah. Who's that? I'm just kidding. I'm just teasing you. I love it. It looks like you could sit in that cool little chair. There's the dog.
That's not allowed. That's a trick.
He's her heart is just show a dog or a dog picture.
I think she's actually a corgi mix of something.
So you're telling me if I went on there, you'd have a double stuffed crust pizza of meat lovers for me? I mean, You say you got it all hooked up, man. I'm telling you, with the brushed on sauce on the crust. Yeah, I'm just kidding.
Whatever you prefer, we have it before you even get into the studio.
Well, that's even better. My God.
Do you have plans for expansion? Like, do you want to move these types of studios into other cities, like New York, Chicago?
You know, I've thought about that before the studio was done being built, and initially I was like, I'd consider it because I, never say never. But there's only one Rodeo Drive.
Oh yeah. Oh.
So I'm not.
Although there's Worth Avenue. Worth Avenue's.
I don't know how to answer that right now, but as of right now, it's just on Rodeo Drive because it's, like I said, it's quite the labor of love.
Yeah. Oh, you definitely put your heart and soul into the building.
Mm-hmm.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and I like the fact that you're walking through fear and taking all these risks, and that's really, isn't that kind of what it's all about? Just like you're gonna get. Don't you realize you get more yeses than nos, and it makes it so much worth it, right?
Absolutely, and you have to have a thick skin,
right?
And it's a fun ride. You got to have fun. It can't be serious. You got to have fun during the whole thing. I mean, life is to have fun. So have a good time.
I know. Why didn't we get that memo early on?
Wish, right? Others would get the memo too, but
have fun. They don't teach that, You get recess for 10 minutes now. It's like, really? When I was a kid, we had recess for 30 minutes.
You're allowed to have fun. You're allowed to be creative. You're also allowed to make money while you're doing all that. I mean, that's really what it's about. So I think people were taught at a young age, everything has to be really serious and you have to focus and all that stuff, which you do have to focus. You have to have some sort of vision and game plan, but it's never going to go. My life has never went the way that I, was directing it. I was always kind of being directed instead of directing it myself. And once you kind of give up to that and just kind of go with the flow, again, with having a certain vision, and there is a little bit of structure throughout, but it has to be fun and you have to have a good time. You have to laugh at a lot of things.
Do you find that when I've noticed this recently on my journey, that when people start coming and try to tell you what you're doing wrong, or you might want to think about this, do you get that sense now where you go, oh, I'm onto something? Instead of taking it like, oh, maybe I should rethink that. It's like, I find that when the negative stuff starts coming in, I feel like I'm on to something now, where in the past I would be like, oh my God, taking it personally. There's a shift that happens.
I do think, I'm on to something. And then I also think too, you have to really consider who's telling you these things.
That's right. Yeah.
And usually they're not doing better than you. Yeah. And I don't take advice. There's certain people that I've either paid to mentor me, or there's certain people that I take advice from. And if it's not that person, I politely tell them, like, thank you for feeling the freedom to share that with me. However, like, that really doesn't resonate with me. And that you're
check the locks from outside the door and tell me if they work. Yeah. Now, you know what, though?
I've actually told people before directly, like, if I didn't ask you for advice, which I don't remember asking you, then I don't want it.
Well, if you want to be a fireman, you hang out with firemen, right?
Yeah,
it's true. So when you get these people going, you know what you should do with your money? And they're like, well, you've never done anything with yours. What are you going to tell me?
Exactly.
I don't mean that arrogantly, but it's
with you. Actually, with the magazine, when I first started the magazine has been around for almost 3 years now. And when I first started the magazine, I had two people. One owned a different magazine that, highlighted completely different things than what we highlight. And another person who never had a magazine, or really did, in my opinion, did much with her life. Two different times when we just were starting the magazine, told me I shouldn't start it, or what was wrong with it, or what to change. And I didn't respond. I didn't say anything until I was like, there's going to be a point in time soon that I'm going to respond back, and we're going to do X, Y, and Z with the magazine, which we did. So I can go back and be like, this is what we've done. And I wrote a very long email to one of the women who told me I shouldn't move forward with the magazine. It's not my brand, but she didn't even know my brand at all. Mm-hmm. And I just said, the magazine is now online and in print. It's in this hotel. It's in these hotels. It's here, 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 and here. And I said, you're not even an entrepreneur. And so moving forward with life, I'd be really careful who you give advice to, because if I wasn't who I was and if I didn't have the mindset that I have, I may have listened to you.
Yeah. Isn't and by the way, that happens all the time where people get shut down who have very creative intentions that are amazing, brilliant, and then they listen to the person they should never be getting advice from, and they get shut down.
Yeah.
My saying is never take advice from people who can't see it for themselves.
Yeah.
You know, if they can't see it for themselves, they're not going to see it for you.
Yeah.
And that's what I love about your strong perspective on it.
Yeah, and there's also the people that see that you have a great idea and are jealous that they didn't come up with it. So
Exactly. Oh, it's so true.
And by the way, that's it's so non-serving, because really we live in this environment that the opportunities are endless. For me, when people have things happen, I'm like, oh my God, that just means more's available to me. You know, it's a mind shift.
Totally. I don't understand it. There's, even if someone did exactly what you're doing, I don't even understand competition. My brain doesn't work like this, because they're not you. You're not each other, and who you're going to attract is going to be a completely different clientele. You shouldn't be looking at someone's taking away from you. It's just something someone else is doing. Just stay in your lane, go in your path, or ignore all the noise.
Yeah, that's
Amen.
well said. Yep, stay in your lane.
Bada bing, bada boom.
Focus.
Hey, let me ask you this, because you all are creative people, and I notice for myself, it's like the most miraculous things that ever happened to me in my life were things that I wasn't even looking for. Like I just got sucker punched, but I was doing something and moving in a direction, trying to get something going. And then out of nowhere, something crazy happened that I wasn't even thinking about, that was 10 times bigger than the thing that I was actually just, it wasn't even like I was trying to go for it. I was just moving in a forward direction. And like one thing after another that I never could have dreamt of and never could have planned happened. And my story is a whole nother story. I'm not going to get into it, but I think you can relate to that as creative people. And, you know, it's like, that's usually what happens. Like, you know, you're just in a direction, and next thing you know, it's like, wow, boom, I just got sucker punched again. And how did that happen? Just by taking some steps and just walking through the fear and taking the risk. I see you shaking your head, because I think we can all relate to that to some degree, right?
Absolutely. I love that. It's like, there's a saying, which is, you know, we all have a bunch of sayings, but they're all true. It's like, you know, you don't always have to see the whole staircase. Sometimes you just have to see the first step.
Yeah.
And I think it's better that you don't see the whole staircase, because most of if I knew better, I probably wouldn't have done half this stuff. Like,
right.
Just go with it and see what shakes out, and you shift and mold and course correct.
Right.
But you gotta be bold. You gotta be a little bit fearless. You gotta, you know, go where it's not so easy, where it's not common. I mean, that's really where the fun is.
Yeah, but how do you get that message out? Because that's a great message. Darren said it perfectly, and you just followed up with that. How do you get that out? Because we live in such an immediate world now, where, like, if I started something, and let's just say fictitiously I started a podcast, and say, like, everybody immediately thinks tomorrow you're going to have 1 million views and you're going to be the world's greatest podcast. How do you get that through to people that's not the way it works? It's never worked that way. In just anything you do, you have to put in the effort. You have to put in the time. You have to do the work. And if you're good at it and your vision is right, you will see the results down the road.
Yeah. Well, as you probably know, even sometimes when you're not good at something.
True. Yeah.
You know, a lot of, you know, famous people or people with a lot of followers, if that's someone's goal, you know, they're not always, you know, like musicians. A lot of the musicians that we know of today, you know, it's really just great marketing. So you kind of, it really depends on what your intention is and what's important to you, I think. If you're doing something and you have 1 viewer, then you have 5 viewers, or, you know, do it because it's fulfilling your soul and it's what your passion is, other than what, again, outside sources, what you're being told, things like that. You have to keep going. You have to keep going no matter what. It's, you know, it's going to be hard a lot of the time, but there will be moments of awesomeness, and you have to follow those moments of awesomeness.
It's eating the elephant one bite at a time, and just like You know, it is. It's, you know, I mean, if sometimes if you're sitting there, I know too many people that are trying to win the lottery, man, and it's like time's running out for them in life. And it's like, dude, you know, it's like you had all this talent and you couldn't just stay simply focused on what you were the best at. It's like, all right, man, you know, we got to get the right guys on the bus, right? But in the right seats too, you know, and get the ones off the bus, you know, the whole, it's all that stuff is like, it's important. And, you know, I think
also, go off of some of that. It's like, you know, everyone's had heard this before, but I think it's a lot of people are afraid to do it. People are so, especially nowadays, everyone's running off of a fear space. A lot of people are running off of a fear space. You can't live in that fear space. You have to kind of step outside and be willing to walk your own path, even if you're walking it alone. And, you know, most of the times as an entrepreneur.
Well, most of the time, entrepreneurs do walk a lot of the
you will be walking alone.
Yeah.
And, you know, at some point you will find your circle or your people, but you have to know that, you know, it's going to be a journey. It's going to be your journey.
Right. That is very well said.
I was just going to share, you know, there's a organization, the Entrepreneurs Organization, and I just was looking at it online, and there's 14,000 members. Think about that. That number is kind of baffling if you think about it. In an entrepreneurial organization, it's probably one of the largest in the United States, and there's 14,000 members.
Well, also too, you gotta, you know, even
it's a very tough world.
Even with that, you got to break down a little bit. It's like, you know, someone calls himself an entrepreneur. I'm like, how long you been in business for? Like 6 months. I'm like, you haven't earned that. You haven't earned that title yet.
Yes.
Good. That's good.
Like you haven't went through. You've got to go through a lot of shit. Like if you haven't had 4 mental breakdowns, don't talk to me.
Oh my God, that means I've got one more coming.
Oh.
Let's just hope it's hot in Deb's apartment.
Oh, yes.
So, Candice, my air conditioning went out 3 weeks ago.
That.
Oh my God. It was like a sauna. It was
episode
100 degrees. I was like sweating on camera. I was like, forget it. I just took off my top. I'm like, this isn't, you know, won't be the first time, whatever.
Deb was just so real that day. Just so fantastic.
I couldn't take it. I was so hot.
I don't give a shit. And just, I mean, it was so by surprise and just so like, it was fantastic. I mean,
and that's
one
the
of
great
my
thing.
favorite memories of this show.
Yeah, that's the great thing about this show is that, you know, we're live and anything can happen and we're just our natural selves. We're not scripted, and, you know, and whatever comes out of our mouths comes out of our mouths. And that's just how it is.
I think that's the best way to do things. It's authentic. People are craving authenticity. They're being fed way too much bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but it's really hard to build authenticity when you can get in trouble for it. So Roger's not completely right. There are some things that like, I'm not talking about certain things because I don't want to get in trouble. So, but you're exactly right.
I think everything's up for grabs. You know, we have to.
Oh, really?
Yeah, well, you know, you say that. I mean, you get one person mad nowadays, and it's the whole world's coming to an end. Holy shit, you broke my world.
No one can take anything anymore.
Right. I mean,
they're really at their maximum, but that's okay. You can push them over the edge a little bit.
Yeah, you know, I love to, but yeah, I like my house.
You know, when you get out there in the real world with all these different people, man, you're finding out, you know, it's like everybody's pretty cool with each other. You know, it's just, you just get behind the screens and it gets a little heated, but you know, when you're in the real world around all these different people and ideas and
the real world is nothing like the media tells you it is. Cool. So, I mean, trust me,
it's
just
so
not.
simple to sit behind a screen and type away nonsense, you know, and that's
crazy.
They didn't like the flavor of my milkshake. I'm going to. How dare they say that I was wrong? Boycott, blah blah blah.
There was something
I actually wrote a blog today about, it's called, the title of it is Social Media Breakup, because I just watched something unfold on social media. I was like, I was called to write about it because we put so much shit on social media, you know, and I was like watching this relationship end, and then the other person go into a whole other, I found my soulmate and I'm in love and he's still married. And I'm like, I'm writing a whole blog about this social media etiquette because it's like, no, we don't need to know this.
Well, the thing is, there was no rules around social media when it first came out.
No,
so
there
when
wasn't.
it first came out, it was, I'm going to post everything and everything. And here we are so many years later, and now everyone's taken it to the umpteenth level where they're talking about everything and posting pictures of every meal they ate. And it's like, well, damn, I don't need to see that. Like, I don't care about that.
I need to see it, but I also really don't care.
Yeah.
Nobody cares.
Nobody see the lasagna that I cooked? Come on, Jim.
But the sad thing is, you post a picture of that lasagna and you're going to get 20 likes. You post a video you edited for an hour and a half and everybody goes past it. And it's like, well, what's the difference? You know, what the lasagna gets 20 likes, but this this thing I put a lot of effort into.
That food stuff gets a lot of attention.
It's crazy.
It just tells you a lot about our country.
Well,
I was going to start doing this show shirtless.
The world that we live in. It's like, where's the substance? We're lacking substance.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it's just, I don't know. I get very frustrated by that. I see that somebody pushing somebody into a river gets 1 million views, but Deb has a very intellectual post on a blog, and everyone's just like, I can't read that. I gotta see the guy get pushed in the water. Hey!
It fell off his raft. Yeah. And what's weird about it too is it's like those posts. It's not like the heartfelt post gets a bunch of likes. Like they actually make comments on the stupid stuff too. It's like the heartfelt stuff just gets a bunch of likes. The easiest thing to do. Oh, I like that. But the dumbest thing gets the most comments too. That's what's so crazy.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, but what's my idea of dumb? You know, I mean, I'm almost.
No, hey, you're exactly right. I posted a picture of a mall yesterday that I used to work at when I was a kid. I know a mall. What's that?
It was right up the street from my old house.
And I posted a picture of it, and it was the most engagement I got on any of my social media in weeks. And it was like,
me too. Okay. I posted my goulash. No, I'm just kidding. What the hell is goulash anyway? It just sounds good though.
Goulash. But it's like, what? How do you, as somebody who's trying to get content out there, or somebody who's trying to do something different, it's like, well, what I'm struggling with, are they just not seeing what I'm posting? Is there something behind the scenes hiding it? Or do they just not give a fuck? Because, like, I'd like to know that. That's where I struggle. I don't care about, like, if nobody, like my internet radio station, if nobody wants to listen to it, fine, that's great. Nobody listens to it. I enjoy doing it. It's a nice hobby. But I'd still like to know. That nonsense, that's always here in my head. It's like, I want to know, are you blocking me? Or does nobody care?
Well, what I want to know is the algorithm. I want to break the algorithm for social media so I know exactly what to post and what not to post. So,
well, Candice, let me ask you this. Candice, isn't it all about demographic? What are you trying to do? The younger kids are going to want a certain type of content to grab their attention? I don't know. I mean, what is it?
Yeah, I will say we've done several test runs. We have different packages and things like that with hosts with Lux Media, and I have noticed that 20-minute shows do way better than 45-minute shows or longer.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because the attention span.
Yep.
Yeah, what's it like 1.7 seconds nowadays or something? I mean, it's really and trust me, I have two young ones who I see it all day. It's just
it's wild.
You're in trouble.
But isn't our brains trained? Because I mean, like, you know, you hear so much about like kids with, oh my gosh, these kids have ADD, and even my own, you know, but it's like attention deficit disorder. I mean, it's, you know, there's that funny little acronym, already done, dude, you know, for ADD. Yeah. But, you know, the reality of it is it's like I catch myself even older, you know, like where I could stay focused. But it's like if I'm trying to find what's the best compression rock, best rock vocal compression, and I get on YouTube and some guy starts off, well, 20 years ago, by the way, before I get started, I'm thinking, shut up, get to the settings, dude. You know, and then I'm looking for the next video that's 3 minutes. That's how I'm starting to look at it. Wait, here's 20 videos, and this one's 10 minutes long. Nope, there's the 3-minute video. I know that guy's going to get right to it. And and so even me as an adult, my brain's been conditioned through this media, and I didn't used to be that way. I wanted to hear all that stuff. So I think some of that is just the kids have never.
You know, really, that's the world we live in.
Yeah.
and we're only going faster and faster and faster. So if I just said 20-minute videos, in a year, it might be 10-minute videos or 5-minute videos or podcasts that are going to be popular, just because that's just how we're going. Time is going faster than ever.
This is my new idea, Candice. Tell me if you like it. Tell me if people will get behind it. Okay.
Okay.
I'm ready for this one, Jim.
Okay.
It's called the Jimmy Night Podcast. Okay. And it's going to be about music. And I'm just going to like hold up a record like this and go, yeah.
You can go like
and
this.
that's it.
Or
Boom,
like
right
this.
to the graphics. Yeah, well, no. It'll be the same for everything. So say I hold this one up and I really like it. I'll go, yeah. And then that's it. Boom.
That's perfect,
And
man.
guess what? There's somebody that does that on TikTok.
Somebody
with
probably
books.
just stole it. If you stole it out there, I'm coming for you.
Well, here's an idea for you. Just start it off like hi, and then bye.
No,
and
so
then
I
you
don't
get-
want to say
no,
any
no
words.
content.
I don't want to say
Nothing.
words. I just want to say, eh.
Or,
I'm going to try it. I'm going to start an initial launch.
I actually think we get a lot of views.
I'll try it.
Probably.
Okay.
Probably.
You get these guys watching these videos making comments about it, and they have 100,000 million quadrillion views. I'm like, I just want like 10.
Yeah, I actually think that might be in terms of numbers, that might be your best show.
oh,
that hurts. But
this
it's the truth.
does.
It's
You know
not
what?
this
It's
show.
perfect, dude. I want to see you test it, man, because I swear to God, I think that
I'm
could
gonna
work.
beta test it.
Oh.
I'm going to take out ads on Facebook and gear it towards 80-year-old people who are just angry about everything anyway.
Darren, he's got your target audience.
It's perfect. Yeah, exactly. The Frank Sinatra crowd.
Would have been awesome when we interviewed your brother to hold up Chicago 18 and go,
Exactly. No, he'd be like,
so, Jason, tell us about when you sang Will You Still Love Me? Jimmy, question? That's my new role on the show. I'll be the guy.
Yeah.
All right, Candice Bar, I really appreciate you taking the time to talk with us. Great to see where you're going, and also when I come to Rodeo Drive, I definitely want to get a tour of your studio.
Yeah, I do too.
You can even come record your show in the studio.
No,
oh. All right,
Hello.
guys, let's book our flights now.
Let's put in our food requests now.
Yes.
Yes.
And actually, I forgot to mention, which we actually could do this. We are starting to do podcasts, because the podcasts are audio and video, in front of a live audience. So if I know you're coming, we can pull a live audience for you.
No. Oh,
really?
My gosh. Oh, look at this.
All right, we're going to have to make a
go
special.
to Rodeo Drive. Hey,
Hello.
Anybody live in the
Hello.
valley? Anybody live in the valley? Deborah, do you live in the valley? Or you're
I'm
not?
in Brentwood. I could walk to Lux Studio.
Okay. Candice,
I can't.
are you on
I
the
live
over?
in downtown.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm a 45-minute flight up and down. There you go.
So
I live in
Maybe
Chicago.
not 45 minutes,
you're
but
welcome to come. You're welcome to come use the studio anytime you'd like.
Look at that.
I love it.
Do I have to
Wow.
be dressed up?
I'm getting some ideas now.
I'm going to be out there in Rocktober.
There you go. Yeah.
Next week, I'll be coming in live from Lux Studio, eating my
Oh, lovely.
bonbons,
Lovely.
drinking my champagne, and eating my bonbons from the Lux Studio.
Yeah, but you
Lovely.
live there,
Because
so
I
there-
got picked up in my Rolls Royce.
No, you live there. You can't get picked up in your Rolls Royce.
Lovely.
I will, because
Flying in.
we'll be flying into
That's right.
LAX, and she'll pick us up and take us to the studio.
Yes, we will do
Lovely,
that.
darling. Lovely.
Lovely.
So, sir, how you enjoying the Rolls Royce on your way to the Lux studio?
It's okay. Stop at Kentucky. Can you stop at Kentucky Fried Chicken, please? Yeah, stop at KFC and Taco Bell if you don't mind.
Candice would be like, who are these
Forget
freaks
the
showing up
palm.
with Popeye's chicken and Taco Bell?
Bojangles, please.
Yeah, right? In-N-Out Burger. So, we're going to Rodeo Drive. Yeah, let's hit an In-N-Out Burger first.
Yeah.
Okay?
Gotta-
Oh, you don't have to get it, 'cause we'll already have it for you.
Oh, see,
There you go.
Hello. Lovely.
I'm
All right,
going.
so
I'm in.
we found our new best friend here. So
Yeah. Hey, hello. I want to love
Hello?
acknowledgement. Hello. I only hang out with the coolest freaking people. Come on.
Nice.
Nice. Yeah,
Candice Bar.
That'd be a treat.
Thanks again for being on our show, and we'll see you in Hollywood.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No,
Nice
in
to meet you.
Beverly Hills.
Beverly Hills. I
We'll see you
stand
soon.
corrected.
That's my high school, Beverly High School. That's where I went. I'll see you there.
All right. Thank you, Candice.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks,
All right.
Candice.
Thanks, Candice. Good
Bye,
to see
Candice.
you. Oh my God, rock star.
Yeah.
Woo!
Incredible.
So
All right,
smart
pack our
and just
bags,
so-
everyone.
So
Okay,
smart,
so wait a
knowledgeable.
second, Darren. When did you graduate Beverly Hills High School?
81 with Lenny Kravitz. He was my best friend.
Why don't we get Lenny on the show?
Yeah, when are we gonna get Lenny?
I gotta track him down.
I support
Then
his
you know
entire
my
catalog.
buddy Billy Gerber.
Yeah.
Hey,
yeah.
speaking of wait,
Pat
speaking of-
Cassidy.
Yeah.
I mean,
Speaking of Lenny Kravitz, his daughter,
Yeah.
what, Zoe, right? Zoe Kravitz?
Zoe, yeah.
If you guys have not watched the show on Amazon Prime, it's called High Fidelity. It's kind of based off the
Oh,
movie.
I heard.
but
Yeah, it's really
TV
good. I
show.
watched it.
Holy
It's very
shit,
good.
she's
Oh, it's-
fantastic.
She's very good.
Oh
It's a
my
very
god,
good-
she
it's
is a
must.
star. Like
I
I,
thought it
watched
was
that
really
show
good.
I watched the first episode and I was kind of like, this is not,
No, I liked it.
It was
I
like the
liked
movie.
it.
No, like right into it, but then all of a sudden she gets you. Like she's
Yeah.
a star. So
She is a big
yeah,
star.
I highly
Yep.
recommended it to
She's
people.
also, isn't she also on Big Little Lies? Or
That I don't know. I haven't seen that one.
yep. So yep, I know Beverly Hills
Thanks,
High.
Cliff.
A lot.
Yeah,
Thank you, Cliff.
You probably do know a lot. You know what's funny
Thank
is when I first moved up there from San Diego, you know, I played music and there was a big drama department at Beverly Hills High School. And so like I really wasn't into the acting thing, but I took the drama class and like Kim Fields was like in my class. You know, she was already doing her big show.
Oh,
And I
Facts of Life, Kim.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I had like a monologue to do after hers, and I got up there. Man, I was a musician, man. I was like just flipping out. I could not pull it off. And then Lenny Kravitz, of course, nobody knew who he was at the time, but he was my first friend at Beverly High School. Man, I met him when we started hanging out, and his mom, you know, was on the Jeffersons, right?
Yep.
She played
Helen, right?
She was married to the white dude, man.
Yeah, Helen and Tom.
Yeah,
I did not know that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Roxy Roker.
Yeah, Roxy.
Roxy
Yeah.
Roker. Yeah, that's his mom. And so I'd go over and hang out at his house, and so we just started playing. He was actually a bass player, and I was a drummer, you know, so it was like a perfect match. But anyway, so yeah, years later, his management company managed Chicago. So I got backstage. I hadn't seen Lenny since, you know, probably in 10, 15 years or something. And he was like at the height of his career. And so I get backstage through Howard Kaufman, who was managing Chicago. And and his mom's back there. She's like, "Oh my God, Darren Schiff." She's like, "When he gets off stage, he's going to flip when he sees you." And I was like, "I haven't seen him." And so I was sitting back with Roxy, you know, and she was like, and all of a sudden, here comes Lenny, man, with, you know, just, Peach has got his kind of his deep voice. He's coming back off stage, and all these people are around, and all of a sudden he sees me, and his voice goes 10 octaves. Like, "Oh my God, Darren Schiff!" Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, you got kind of got back into the mode. He's like, "This guy and I were, he was my drummer, my first drummer." And, it was great, man. But anyway, that was a fun time. So, yeah.
Yeah, Lenny would be cool. I love Lenny. I was flipping through records at the used records store the other day, and Mama Said they had a copy of Mama Said on vinyl, and it was like $45. I'm like, I can't do it, Lenny. Sorry. I love you, man. I got it on CD. It's good enough for me.
Yeah, we tore it up, man, in that jazz.
Oh,
band.
yeah. His early stuff was fantastic. I mean, his late stuff was okay, too, but his early stuff, man, Heaven Hope, what a great song. And Are You Gonna Go My Way? And just all the earlier stuff, too, is just fantastic.
Incredible.
So Lenny Kravitz, if you're watching the show, make sure you get hold of Darren. We'd love to be able to talk to you.
Yeah,
That's right, man.
Music. We plug your daughter's show. Come on.
Yeah, come on.
And us in the jazz band at Beverly High School, man, we got a lot of stories about the jazz ensemble we started.
You know, that goes under the umbrella of nepotism. You went to high school, you were friends, you were in a band. Come on.
Yeah.
Did you guys hear the news today that, do we know this show right here?
Shaft or something? What is
No.
Oh.
Marky Post passed away today.
Oh,
from
yes,
Night Court.
from Night Court. Yes, I saw that early this morning.
Oh, the lady, right?
Yes, yeah, Marky.
Yeah. I didn't
Marky
know.
Post.
I didn't know.
Yeah, she died of cancer.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I remember her.
Minutes of my childhood were spent with her.
Yeah, I didn't know her, but I saw that.
She was also the mother in Something About Mary, which is one of the funniest scenes in the beginning when Ben Stiller gets his junk caught in the zipper and she's in there with her husband.
I'm in that movie.
Are you in it? Okay.
Are you?
So you know, at the very end of the movie when they go into Matt Dillon's apartment?
Yeah.
If you pause it right there, I'm on the wall. There's a painting of me on the wall. It's a Dennis Mukai, and I'm in the theater with my husband, and we're watching the movie, and I yell in the theater, hey, that's me! That's me! Oh my God! And I'm looking around like, hello, people, that's me. And so I call Dennis Mukai and I go, you know, my painting is in the movie because he did a whole series of.
Do you get residuals for that?
No. And I said, because you sign away on stuff like that. And so I said, hey, do I get something for that? And he's like, no,
the
movie studio owned it. They bought it and they owned it. But I'm in the movie. So next time you watch it, you'll see a painting of me, a big painting of me on the wall as you go into Matt Dillon's apartment. And it's like a 3, 4, 5 second. I'm like, enough for me to go, people, hello.
Can y'all see what's up there?
I should have gotten credit for it.
Yeah, you should have.
Heck yeah.
I'm just going to add it to my resume. How's that?
There you go. Just throw it on there.
They gypped you.
All right, check us out on the World Wide Web, guys. It is RogerTheWildChildShow.com. All right, RogerTheWildChildShow.com. Right there. Check it out. You could see all the previous episodes, read our bios, and so forth. I do want to thank our guest, April Rose Gabrielli. Also, Candice Bar for joining us. Jimmy Knight, as always. Deborah Driggs and Darren Sheff. Greatest co-hosting team in the universe. Until next week, guys, have a great week. We'll see ya. I'm Roger the Wild Child. I'm out of here. Peace.